guys, I just hit 10K subscribers. Oh my god!
We did it. We did it, Joe.
I know that this is really like not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm still a very small channel, but to have reached 5 figures in my following on YouTube, finally, it's so gratifying. I feel like it's more gratifying than when I hit like 100,000 followers on Instagram years ago. I don't know what my sync is doing right now, but thank you all so much for subscribing. It's blowing my mind that 10,000 people watch my videos, follow me on this platform, and it has taken me, I want to say, like 2.5 years to really like get to this point after busting my ass, basically. Just so incredibly grateful for all of you guys. Seriously, like, you have no idea. Community that has been created here, like, makes me so happy every day. Some of the comments that you all leave are just, you honestly have no idea like how y'all's comments like make my day every time you leave them. And some of the things that you've shared with me has just been incredible. I feel like some of you all are my friends. I can't believe it. Drinking a Truly, but I feel like I need to open champagne. That's what's gonna happen, actually.
Kitchen is a wreck. Congratulations, 10,000.
Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So yes, this video is sort of like my yay, we made it to 10K video. I'm finally getting it up and I'm just so excited. I just want to preface this video by saying like a huge, massive thank you to all of you guys who support my channel, have been supporting my channel, who leave comments, who give my videos thumbs up, who share my videos with your friends, those of you who DM me on Instagram and we have conversations. Like, I feel like I've actually made friends from being on YouTube, no joke. You guys are absolutely incredible. It has been a labor of love. My channel is sort of like my baby. It's my little passion project and I really love making video content. I was so afraid of putting myself out there as far as YouTube went like years ago. It was something that I wanted to do for a long time and I just like kept putting it off because I had my blog for a really long time. I've had my Instagram. Putting myself out there in the way of like writing blog posts or posting on Instagram for whatever reason wasn't scary to me, but like putting myself in front of a camera and speaking to a camera, I don't know why it terrified me, and so I put it off for so long. But I'm so glad I finally just got over that fear because like I said, making video content and being on YouTube is one of my biggest joys. YouTube is definitely my favorite social media platform of them all, and it's because of you guys, because you're amazing. All that to be said, let's get started with this Q&A video. I've got some really fun questions that you all asked me either here on YouTube or on my Instagram stories. I put up a question box for you all to ask me whatever you wanted. Nobody got weird. First question that I have is, do you do YouTube full-time or do you have another job? And then the second part of the question was, what does Nate do? So we'll start with the first half of that question that has to do with me. Technically don't do YouTube full-time. I am a blogger and an influencer full-time though, and YouTube is a part of that. I have been a blogger. I have a blog, missmorestyle.com. I started in 2013. That was a long time ago. And I had the blog, and then I shortly after that created my Instagram. And then I want to say I really started getting on YouTube very consistently about 2.5 years ago. So YouTube has only been like a small part of my blogging and Instagram and influencing journey, I guess. But I have been a full-time blogger and influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it, for the last 3.5 years. Before I was doing this full time, I was a student at UCLA, also bartending. So doing my blog part time, because like when you're a blogger, when you're an influencer, you don't just go from like one day you're working your other job and then you're just the next day doing this full time. At least for me, and I feel like for a lot of people that I know that I've talked to, it's a gradual process where you start your blog or your YouTube channel as sort of like a passion project, like I started mine, and then you kind of do it as a hobby, like on the side while you're working your job. And then if you're lucky and you work hard enough, it starts to grow. You start to work with brands, you start to bring in other types of income that's related to your blog and your YouTube channel, etc. And then eventually it gets to the point where you're like, okay, my life is too crazy. I can't be working this job and doing this, and my YouTube channel and blog or whatever it is making me enough money to where I can let go of the other job. So for me, that's kind of how it happened. To answer that question, I do not do YouTube full-time necessarily. Like if I quit Instagram and blogging and all that stuff, I wouldn't be able to do YouTube full-time. I'm not there with my YouTube channel yet. We're gonna get there. But yes, essentially I do this full time. I don't have another job. I do have a couple other social media clients that I help consult and help them with their social media aside to sort of supplement my income, because blogging and influencing can be a little bit uncertain. There can be times where like you're having a great month and you're landing all these brand deals, and then there can be other times where it's kind of like a lull. So in order for me to feel a little bit more financially secure, I have some social media clients that I also help that has like, that's like a steady source of income that I know I can depend on just in case things get a little crazy. But it is my goal by the end of this year to be done with working for my other clients and just be working for myself. Goals. Let's do it. So to answer the second part of that question, Nate actually works as we have a very good friend of ours who owns a neighborhood bar down the street from where we live. It's a bar that's been around for a really, really long time. It's kind of like the bar of Cheers. If you guys remember that show, maybe some of you are too young, and I know some of you will remember it, but that bar, it's kind of like Cheers. So he manages that bar, and he also is an amazing, huge help to me, creating my content, helping me take photos for my blog and my Instagram, helping me when we go on trips, capture some of the video content that you guys have seen. So how did you get started and how long did it take to get to where you are? Okay, so that sort of piggybacks off of what I was saying before. So like I said, got started in 2013. At the time, I was about 24 or 25 years old. And I was at a point in my life where I was just kind of like lost. You know, I had moved to LA when I was 19 for acting. And after a couple years of just sort of trying, but like half-ass trying to be an actor, kind of going on auditions, but not like really going for it in the way that I probably should have, I sort of just got discouraged because obviously it wasn't working out for me because I wasn't putting in the work that like is necessary for that career. And I was just waiting tables and I wasn't really doing anything. I like hadn't finished college because I moved out here to act. I got to a point where I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, this isn't me. I decided around that age that I wanted to go back to school and finish my degree. And so I started going back to community college here in LA. And at the same time, I kind of wanted to do something that was a sort of creative outlet for me because I just like felt like my soul was dying a little bit, like going and waiting tables. I hated being in the service industry, by the way. It was like something that I felt like it just like killed my soul slowly every single day. I had to go work in a restaurant.
What I hate about being a waiter is the extra side of ranch, 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 and don't forget the extra side of ranch.
I needed something to make me happy, and I always had loved fashion. My grandmother, I grew up going with her to Dillard's, which is a department store that's more popular in like the southeastern United States, I want to say. She was the fashion coordinator of all the Nashville area Dillard's where I grew up, and so that means that she basically she coordinated all these fashion shows that would happen in the store. So I would go with her to the store, help her put together outfits for the different shows. I would be in the fashion shows, and I just grew up having this love of fashion, and that's part of the reason why my brand is called Miss Moore Style, because Moore is my name, but also it's her name. She was Miss Evelyn Moore. The blog name Miss Moore Style is like a little bit of an homage to her. It's also like a double entendre because I like to give you guys more style for your money, you know what I mean? Because that's the sort of theme around here. It's a personal style blog because it is me. I'm Miss Moore and it's my style. So it's kind of all of that under the same umbrella, if that makes sense. Anyway, all that being said, I started it as a hobby when I was going back to school, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but at the time I was observing a lot of the bloggers that are now massive. I like sort of started to realize that if I worked hard enough at it, I could make this probably like a job, because I was recognizing that those girls were landing brand deals and doing this full time. And so I sort of just started to like get into it more and more. I started investing a little bit more. I bought a little bit nicer camera. I bought like my own self-hosted domain, and I really put the work and the investment into it, and that's when I really saw it just grow. And so it took 8 years to get to where I am now. It took basically 4 years of me, like 2 years I was kind of just being a hobby, and then the next 2 years I was kind of like floundering around trying to figure it out, and then that really started to get somewhere. So it takes a lot of work to get to a place where you can be doing a blog or Instagramming or influencing, content creating, YouTubing full time. It takes a lot of like determination and perseverance to like just really keep at it, because consistency is key. Always trying to learn and be better is key. It's not easy. A lot of people think we just sit there and take pretty pictures, but it's not necessarily true. So this next question is, have I ever been recognized in public as an Insta celeb? I wouldn't really call myself an Insta celeb. I have like 100,000 followers. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's people that have like multiple millions. So no, the answer to that is no. No one's ever like come up to me and been like, oh my God, are you Miss Moore Style? I have been recognized in public because I was a child actor. Probably nothing that most of you all have seen, but I did these kids sing along videos when I was younger. Actually surprisingly popular, and I still to this day get people, at least on Instagram, DMing me asking me if I was in those. When I was younger, when I looked like my younger self, people would come up to me and ask. No, I've never been recognized as my adult self as an Insta celeb, but I'm sure the day will come. The next question is from one of my best friends, Allie, who some of you all might follow on TikTok, because she is actually TikTok famous. When are you going to make me an aunt? What a loaded question. Well, Allie, I don't know. All I can say is I'm 33.
My biological clock is ticking like this.
Might be soon. I don't know. It freaks me out. Honestly, becoming a mom, like I know I want to be a mom, but the idea of being a mom really terrifies me for some reason. Like no one's ever like ready to have kids. You're never like ready, but I just feel so unready that it will happen, hopefully, if it's like in the cards for me. And if it doesn't happen, it's also kind of like, okay. Really hard decision because I like my life. I want to travel everywhere. And then I also want to have kids, but I understand the like huge sacrifice that comes with that. So it's a really like, yeah, it's hard. I feel like if I had a really nice sized house and I didn't live in a 2-bedroom apartment in LA, I'd feel a little bit better about it. Logistically right now, it's like, where am I going to put a baby in this apartment? Allie, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be happening in the next couple of years because biology says that it must. So, okay, the next question is, have you considered starting an online boutique? Yes, it is something that I have been wanting to do for a couple of years now. Nate actually gave me the idea to do it. He said that we should do this. And I was like, yes, but oh my God, there's only so many hours in a day. And I know it's an excuse, but just so much everything that goes into creating an online boutique is just a lot. And I'll tell you, the one roadblock that I've been having, which maybe some of you guys can help me with, is creating a name for my boutique. Nate thinks it should be Miss Moore Store, which I don't really love that name. People just think I should call it Miss Moore Style because that's like my brand name. And I don't know. I don't know if I should call it something different. So if you have like a suggestion, let me know down in the comments. If you have a good like boutique name idea for me. A boutique is definitely in the works. It's something that I really want to launch in 2022 for sure. So definitely be on the lookout for that because that is something that is in my like short-term list of goals that I'm trying to get to. Next question. Do you see a lot of celebrities since you live in LA? Any interesting experiences with any particular ones? Oh, wow. The answer is yes. I see celebrities. You see celebrities all the time when you live in LA. I could probably do like a whole video on experiences that I've had with different celebrities. When you've been here long enough, you either just see them out or you run into them or you start to like know people who know people. And so you end up like knowing famous people by proxy of other people. It's crazy. And so also the other thing about living in LA is you kind of learn once you've moved here. Like when you first move here from somewhere else, you don't always have this mentality. But once you've been here for a while, you kind of learn that when you see celebrities in public, you kind of just let them be and try to act cool. Like, you know, they're not there because it's sort of like a thing where it's like we all live in this city and I'm sure they want to live their lives and not be bombarded by people all the time. So you just kind of like chill and just let them have their whatever. God, I have so many interesting experiences with celebrities. I don't know if I should spill all the tea in this video though.
It's okay. It's okay.
You guys ever watched TMZ? Harvey, what is his name? The guy who runs TMZ. When I first moved to LA, he was in a Coffee Bean where I was. We were both waiting for coffee and he told me I had really beautiful eyes. I thought that was interesting. The first weekend that I ever lived in LA, actually, this is kind of a crazy story, but I moved here with my boyfriend at the time. And before we moved here, we were at like one of those hibachi type restaurants in Nashville. And we were at the kind of like Benihana, you know, where you're sitting around like a grill, like a flat top with other people. And one of the other people at our table was Britney Spears' cousin. And mind you, this was before Britney, this was like right before she like shaved her head and all that craziness happened, right? This was like in the heydays of Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton. I'm really dating myself here. Britney Spears' cousin was at the table and my ex's mom was talking to her and she was like, oh, well, they're moving to LA next week. And she was like, oh, you should come to this party. Britney's hosting it or whatever. And
That's hot.
So we got her number and she invited us to this party. So we go to this house in the Hollywood Hills. And a very posh house. The point of this party was to sort of introduce Swedish fashion designers or whatever into the US or whatever. So it was going to be all these like people there. Lindsay Lohan ended up being the host of this party because Britney Spears, between the time that we met her cousin and we actually drove out and moved to LA and this party happened, that's when she shaved her head and went a little bit crazy. So then they changed out her from hosting the party to Lindsay Lohan. So Lindsay Lohan shows up for like 10 minutes, walks around, then leaves. But Paris Hilton was supposed to be there because her handbag line was being debuted at this party as well. And so like we're standing over by where her handbags were. And all of a sudden like somebody like shoulder checks me and I look and it's Paris Hilton shoulder checked me. Like basically like ran into me on her way to like go do some photo op.
That's really hot.
So that was pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy party. Paris Hilton literally checked me. yeah, I could go on and on and on and on. There's probably some experiences that I'm like not even remembering that I would be even interesting to tell, but yes, I see celebrities all the time. I will never forget, I was having breakfast at the little spot that's like right down the street from my house, and there used to be a little vegan ice cream place right next to it, and so we were paying the cashier for our breakfast or brunch or whatever it was, and I see out the window this beautifully like put together blonde woman is just walking past the window, and I'm like, is that Gwen Stefani? And then all of a sudden, all these paparazzi were chasing her, and I was like, holy crap, that's Gwen Stefani, who was like one of my freaking idols. So she went to the vegan ice cream place right next door. So yeah, you see them all the time. It is what it is. Sometimes they're cool, sometimes they're not. And yeah, what else can I say? Okay, next question. How did you meet Nate? We both used to work at Cheesecake Factory in Sherman Oaks together. He was a bartender, I was a server. That was at the job where I hated life. We knew each other for a long time, probably like a couple years before we started dating. I've known him since I was like 19, which is kind of crazy. Okay, next question. If you could travel anywhere right now, where would that be? It has to be Japan, because Nate and I wanted to go to Japan last year. We saved up a bunch of credit card miles and points to go on this big Japan trip, and then of course you all know what happened.
Coronavirus!
We haven't got to go on our Japan trip. We still have the credit card points. They're sitting safely in our account, so they'll be used for something. But Japan would be my number one. My number two would be, I want to go to France really bad. I've been to Paris twice, and I love Paris. It's my favorite place on earth, but I really want to explore more of the country of France, because I've spent a lot of time in Italy at this point, which I freaking love Italy. If I could live there, I would totally live in Italy. But I really want to just go and do the same thing with France and go more places in France and see what like the other cities or the other regions in France are like, because I really am a huge like Francophile. I love French culture. I took French in high school. So yeah, I definitely really want to go spend more time in France, especially the south of France, like Saint-Tropez or Cannes. Yeah. What is your favorite place to travel? Okay, I feel like I just answered that question a little bit, but as much as I love Paris, I love Italy. Like, I've been there like 3 times, I want to say, and it's just such a beautiful country. Every time I go there, it is just so magical. It just feels like a magical place. People are nice. The food is insanely good. There's so much history. Who is your style inspiration? I have so many. And I feel like I have so many different personalities of my style, but obviously I'm gonna have to say Audrey Hepburn. I feel like everyone says that, but truly I love her so much. Also, like I said before, Gwen Stefani has always been like a huge like style icon for me. I feel like she's so classic, but she has so many different like, she's a chameleon, right? She's gone through like a like very punky stage. She can be very glam. She can be very like pin-up. She can be edgy. Like, she just has like so many different facets to her style, and I really identify with that because I don't like to be any one style either. I like to really play around with it. I feel like Cher comes to mind. I just love like all of her like over the top, like, you know, Bob Mackie crazy outfits. Lately I've been very inspired by Princess Diana's style. Like, I think after I was like watching The Crown and sort of was like reintroduced to her style, I guess. I've been doing like a lot of research on her outfits. They're just so classic and timeless. I actually made like a short about this that I put up on my channel, which I'll link right here if you want to watch it. Just a short little thing where I recreated some of her outfits with things that I already own. Victoria Beckham. I feel like she's so chic and like very like sophisticated. I don't know, there's different people who I feel like are icons to me just for different things. And like I said, I don't like to just be any one type of style. I like to change it up. And so I get really inspired by so many different types of people. All right, next question. Do you still wear Junior's clothing? Not really. Every once in a while, I don't know. What do you consider Junior's? Do you consider that like Junior's sizing clothing, or would you consider that also like Forever 21 brands? I'm not opposed to it, but I just don't usually, because I find that Junior's clothing is, first of all, it's sized really weird, a way that makes me feel not great about my body. 2, I find that Junior's clothing tends to just be a little bit, it tends to skew more youthful in a way that's like less mature than I want to look, if that makes sense. I find that Junior's clothing tends to be a little bit lower quality sometimes. No, I don't really wear Junior's too much, but like if I saw something cute, I wouldn't be opposed to wearing it. I mean, do you know how many times I've walked past like the H&M window and they have the kids clothing that's on display, and I'm just like, why can't they make that in adult sizes? Because that's cuter than all the adult clothes that they have in the store right now. Comment down below if you've ever had that thought. I can't be the only one, right? Who is your favorite YouTuber? I have quite a few favorites. One of my favorites of all time that I've said many times on this channel is Laura Blair. I love her so much. She was probably one of the first YouTubers I started watching and really loving like years ago. And I've kind of like watched her grow and get bigger, and she deserves all of it because she's amazing. I think her style is very chic, it's very well put together. I like her personality. I feel like she's like really genuinely sweet from like watching her videos. So she does like fashion hauls and vlogs and things like that. She's a British YouTuber. So if you've not heard of Laura Blair, I don't think she's quite as like hugely known as other of the like some of the other British YouTubers I'm about to mention, but she is my all-time favorite. I just love her style. The other ones I really like are Freddie My Love, Fashion Mumbler. I tend to really like British YouTubers. Maybe I like their accent, and sometimes I wish I could be a British YouTuber because I feel like the accent's so nice. This is a terrible British accent. I love Shea Whitney. She always does like really, really fun videos, and I think she has a really fun personality. I love Style Hard. I follow her. We follow each other on TikTok. We're kind of little, I don't know, I consider us to be TikTok friends there. I love her videos. She's always really fun to watch. I really love Best Dressed. She's really cute. I think her style is really fun and interesting. I like the way that she films her videos. They're very like cinematic and very like, I don't know, I watch her videos to get ideas on different new ways to edit or put my videos together. Let me know down in the comments below who your favorite YouTuber is. I'm really interested to see who else you guys like to watch here on YouTube. I have a hard time finding like people that I like to watch just because I find that a lot of people, and I don't want to say this, but I find like a lot of the fashion YouTubers out there are, I don't know, they just get boring after a while. Like I feel like their style is very, very basic. And maybe people like that because maybe it's whatever, but I like to be inspired to like do something a little bit different. So I'm always looking for a good new YouTuber to follow who has like a really unique or interesting sense of style. So if you know somebody who fits that bill, you can comment down below and let me know. How many pairs of shoes do you have? Oh, too many to count, my friend. Too many to count. I honestly don't know. It's a really bad situation. I've been meaning for a long time to do a shoe declutter. I'm overdue for that. The thing that's holding me back is the fact that I have a huge pile of clothes in here already from like past declutters that I need to like get through first, because I can't clean my shoes out and get rid of shoes and have a pile of shoes in here as well. So I've got to make space for that. I'm like a stage 5 clinger when it comes to my clothes. Like I have a really hard time getting rid of them. Next question. If you won the lottery, what would you do? Okay, I've always said that if I won the lottery, I would love to buy a vineyard in California somewhere, probably in like Sonoma or Napa or somewhere up in like that area. I love wine so much, and I think it would be so cool to have a vineyard. I don't know anything about wine except that I like to drink it, but I figure that if I win the lottery, I can hire somebody who does know something about wine. And yeah, I just want to have a vineyard and live in wine country and have a vineyard and go travel the world, obviously. But yeah, I think my big investment would be like buying a vineyard, because I think that would just be so cool. And maybe a couple horses. That could be on the land that I buy, right? Vineyard, horses, travel everywhere. That's what I would do if I won the lottery. Last question. Where is your favorite place to shop? Well, my favorite places to shop. I love Aritzia lately. I really want to do a haul from there. Love shopping on ASOS. I feel like they always have really interesting things there. I've been loving Express lately, which I went through a phase where I really did not like Express, and I feel like lately their stuff's been really good. Nordstrom obviously is a favorite. Love shopping there. I also really love, there's a couple locations of them in LA, but it's called Wasteland, and it's a thrift store. No, it's not a thrift store. It's a vintage store / secondhand store where they basically have a mixture of secondhand, vintage, and new like boutique-y type of clothes. So it's like this great mesh. So if you're ever in LA, definitely check out a Wasteland. They have one on Melrose, and they have another one on Ventura. Favorite places to go and shop vintage. We can't forget Zara. Every time I walk into a Zara, all my money goes bye-bye. Those are some of my favorites currently. I think I've answered all the questions for this Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I enjoyed answering all these fun questions. If you have any more questions, just leave them in a comment down below, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure before you go, you check out a couple more videos, and you're not already subscribed to my channel. Come on, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, and I will see you all on my next video. Bye.